I love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drums begin. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light.
Hello everyone. Yes, it's me, it's just my voice, a little different. I hope everyone is having a great weekend. Mine was so-so, could have been better. Bit of a flu, but you know how it is, cold weather. It's been exceptionally cold in Portugal these days, so it was expected. So today we'll be taking this beautiful MD-11F. So this is the cargo variant of the plane we previously flew from TFDi. And one thing I was noticing while being outside, look at the size of the windows. The small size of the nose cone and the size of the windows really is giving the pilots a great view from the outside world. If you can compare it with this 767, you'll see what I'm saying. So they're still large windows, but I think these are the biggest windows, at least the side windows. Look at that. They go all the way down, give it an excellent view. Not many planes do this. So let's begin our inspection. As you can see, it's snowing in Warsaw. We are in Poland, and it is snowing. Just gonna take a small walk around. This is something I've seen on actually other planes as well, including the 767. The fact that these doors will not fully shut when the gear is down, which is looks like a failure. But actually, I believe this is by design. It just looks weird when you really look at it. They seem a bit half open, not even half, but not fully closed. Alright, let's take a good look at the nose landing gear. We got the APU connected already. Let's take a look at our left main landing gear first. I don't think that TFDi designed brake failures or brake wear and tear, but we'll still take a good look at it, including the middle gear, which is equipped with brake pads. unlike the A340, for example, that does not. So we're basically looking for any signs of wear and tear, uh, any signs of fluids, taking a good look at our blades here. Looks fine, and they do rotate with that distinguishable click-clack. I'm going to take a look at the wings as well. So these are old school wings, no longer having these, the modern wings no longer have these aerodynamic appendages. Well, they do, but not as pronounced. Looks good. MD-11 was one of the first planes to have winglets embedded. Not the first, but one of the first planes to make it standard. As you know, the MD-11 is an upgrade from the DC-10, and it's crazy to see the APU exhaust is on the side and not on the tip of the tail like most planes. That's because this housing here has some of the equipment for auxiliary equipment for the engine number 2 up there. So there's no room for the APU to pull out the exhaust except from the side there. APU, of course, is turned off at this moment. So today we'll be taking this beauty of a plane to Rome, and we're expecting some rough weather halfway. So it is rough-ish with the snow. There's some strong winds here in Warsaw, but I'm expecting a much harsher condition mid-flight. And the landing in Rome will be interesting because I'm not sure how the weather is right now. When I looked at early in the morning, it was okay, but the weather in Europe overall is very rough at this moment. So it's quite possible when we reach Rome that we'll have bad weather, and bad weather with this plane is a bit scary, as you know. See people there entering, enter air. That's a redundancy. Entering, enter. Alright, so we're quite finished out here. It's cold. Let's get to the flight deck. Can we climb these stairs all the way in? Can we? No. No, we're blocked. It's a shame. Oh well, let's teleport. Welcome on board. And there's Betsy. Alright, so let's load our flight plan for today. Should be a 2-hour flight, more give or take, more or less. Let me just open my chat here for YouTube, just in case someone's watching at this time of the morning. There is someone watching now. Good morning. So we got this flight plan, which is quite straightforward. We got all the weights in. Let me just confirm everything is in metric and not imperial. Yeah, it looks good. Alright, so now we're going to set up the plane. And last time I said there were no checklists, but there are some checklists. Although they're embedded on the right here. So they're embedded in the Microsoft Flight Simulator, own electronic flight bag. So yeah, let's go for the ensure everything's okay. So weather radar is down here. So weather radar is in the off position. Now it is. It wasn't. Fuel switches are all in the cutoff position or off. Parking brake is set. It's right here. See, disengaged, engaged. Now it's engaged. Parking brake set. We are on the chalk, so either brake or shocks. But anyway, we'll do it both. Flaps and slats handle are on the top position, up and retracted. Gear handle is down, as it is. The wheels are on the ground anyway. Fuel dump switch is off. Actually, I need to find where those are. Fuel dump. Alright. And there's the transfers, tanks, oh, there it is. So dump fuel, yeah, they're both off. Manifold drain switch off. And emergency power selector to off. Alright, done. Now let's go for the brief line. So battery switch. Explains a little weird, as you know. Alrighty. Battery switch to on. External power. We do have external power.
Autopilot.
Nice. Plane comes to life. There it is. Everything's coming up online. I'm going to pick up the overhead panel camera so that we can continue on. So let's go engine APU fire test. There's the APU fire up there. We got the oral warning.
Engine 1
We got the master warning, master
Engine
caution.
2 fire.
And we can see the engine 1, engine 2, engine 3, and APU fire, as well as the oral warnings.
Engine 1 fire.
Alright, so release the button and clear the master caution for now. Alright, so we are good to go. Engine fire handles, yeah, so they're illuminated, APU fire handle illuminated, fuel switches. We didn't see the fuel switches, but let's just, again, show, well, so we can do it again. Let's,
Engine 1 fire.
I need to move this aside, go back to up. Oh, this is not handy, you know. Should have a way to do this. Yeah, there they are. They're illuminated. You can barely see it, but they are illuminated. There they are. See? Up there on top of it. Oh, probably can. No, these are illuminated. These are the discharge bottles, and then there they are. So they're illuminated. The 3 switches. Okay. Alright. Let's release that. Master warnings flashing, fire bells and calls, level 3 alerts, master warning pressed, fuel used, press, annunciator lights, let's do that, annunciator lights, whoa, there it is, so test,
Overspeed.
oh we can get a overspeed warning. Let's check the main panel.
Overspeed.
There's the lights out there.
Overspeed.
Everything's illuminated. Let's check the pedal style. There's the anti-skid. Paddle style. Everything's lit up. Alright. Tested. Alright. Let's go down here. Oh my god, so many switches to pull on this plane. Cargo fire. Where's the cargo fire test? GPWS. Okay, cargo fire found it. So these are performed automatically, by the way. So if I choose to switch to nav, they'll start performing on their own. See? So you can manually test them, but they do test when you switch the navigation to nav. Alright. Yeah, they're illuminated, 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 and flashing. Master warning on the glare shield. Alright, and now we switch the switches to IRU, and we're gonna start the alignment on the CDU page. Alright, let's do that. So we're gonna come down here. Gonna start aligning IRS. So first of all, let's check the nav data. So we got from 22 to 18 Feb. That's the 2601. That's correct. Flight plan initiation. All right. And now we are going to come here and send flight plan to FMC. There it is, EPWA, which stands for Warsaw Chopin Airport, to LIRF, the LIRF, which is Rome. And we are going to set the payload and fuel. And we're going to request GSX to start boarding, which is basically just loading the cargo. No pushback now. Alright, so let's initiate the flight. Let's go back here. Let's go to our performance. Get some weather information. Takeoff weight. And calculate for now. We'll go back to this in a moment. So last time we had a hiccup with the fuel. It wasn't loading correctly and we had to load it manually. So let's see if this will happen again on this flight. Alright, so it's not loading our airport here. But I can't move. Alright, so it's going to be EPWA. Something should be automatically loaded. EPWA. Some reason we have to do it manually. So the cargo is being loaded. So the main cargo there and the lower crates on the lower half. So you see that the big door over there just opens up to load these crates, these bigger, ultra-sized crates. Alright, so let's go back to dispatch here. Let's review the stuff here. So we got block fuel is 26. How much fuel we have right now? 2650, correct. Now the fuel's loaded correctly. So let's fill in our data here. So we got flight plan is FDX 764. So FDX 764 as a flight number. We don't have any alternate route for now. Our alternate is there's so much fuel of not fuel info missing here on this page. Anyway, we'll just go back to that. So the cost index. I wonder why is it not filling in this correctly? Where is the cost index? 164, there it is. So 164 PAMO. And we're going to be on the cruise level at 38,000 feet, so flight level 380. No step climbs, at least that we can see, because this page is so incomplete. We can go here to our flight management system, our electronic flight bag, and we can view the Simbrief flight, and we'll have all the info here anyway. So our alternate will be, which is something we need to fill in correctly here. Our alternate will be, where's the alternate? I need to take a course in reading this. There are step climbs. We need to step to 380, then 370 at Baxon. Alright, well, we can stay up there. No big deal. Maybe it's up here. So we got EPWA, Leo, and LIEO. That's the alternate. Right there. Alright, so, oh, did it delete again? The flight number, FDX, oh my god, FDX 764. Alright, initialize IRS. Alright, now we are cooking. Let's go for it. Hello, Andrew. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Oh, you're working. Oh, have a nice day at work, if you can. Now, if I press the zero fuel weight, no, it's the block. No, it's the takeoff. Yeah, there it is. It automatically loads the correct weights, which isn't that bad. so now we need to add the CG, so it's 23. This will change as the plane is being loaded, and 22.7. Oops. This will change as the plane will be loading, but we'll get back to that. Alright, I think we're ready. The fuel quantity is, of course, 26.05. And how's the temperature outside? So we will be departing with engine and de-ice at least. We're gonna have a look at the wings to see if there's any ice accumulation. Probably not. So we're now just waiting for the cargo to be loaded. So these guys are still loading. We can close this. Actually, let's go back to the checklists here. Okay, just checking something. Let's go back to the checklists here, and we'll pick up where we were leaving. So IRU has been initialized. Now let's go for the cockpit voice recorder reset. Test. Alright. Press and hold. Yeah. Not reset, but test. Galley bus lights extinguished. I think we need to arm this. I think there's oh yeah, that's extinguished. Alright. Extinguished. Cargo temperature selector as required. Let's not mess with that. FedEx engine, all lights are extinguished for FedEx. Alright. Let's not do this. Electrical panel checked. Manual light. All manual lights are extinguished. Smoke and electrical source set to normal. There it is. Drive 1, 2, and 3 cab bus. Still IDG disconnected. This comes from the last flight. For some reason, it hasn't reset. Oh my god, let me confirm this with their external program. They have an external program for failures. So this is probably there's no so this is IDG. Let me see if I can find it. IDG engine 1 IDG failure. No. So no reset. There's no reset for this. So drive 1, generator 1 disconnect. So let's see, generator. So basically on the external program to running a check on the aircraft's overall failures, see if there is a failure going, because we'll not be flying with this generator. I hope not. Generator failure again. This happened in the last flight. I accidentally pressed that button, and it seems it's persistent. So it's going to take a moment. We'll carry on with the rest of the checks. So emergency power is set to armed. Air panel has been checked. Manual light is extinguished. Econ light is extinguished. Trim air extinguished. Temperature. Oh. Cabin outflow valve is open. It's a good question. How do you know it's open? We did check it outside. It was open. So let's leave it at that. Temperature sign. It's a very extensive. So fuel panel. So all pumps are off. Manual light extinguished. Fuel quantity test. We got 26 onboarding completed. Alright, so let's move forward. AFS panel, these are all checks. The plane is okay. Aside from the issue we have with the generator up there. Alright, let's go jump for the before start checklist. Let's turn on the APU. Hello. Oh, we need to load the auxiliary pump 2, and now we can turn on the APU. Actually, no. Wow. What's going on? Because APU bleed, and this is the APU power. Why is it not turning on? Turn on the nav lights, logo lights, and off high. Emergency lights are armed. So I'm having an issue here. The APU is not turning on for some reason. Right, so this button here, there's nothing in this world that can. I'm gonna report this because I think this is a bug. So I'm gonna set just print screen this. Give me a moment. This is definitely a bug because I can't do anything to recover this. And now apparently I don't have APU power, so something's not right here. So I'm pressing the button here and the automated system is not triggering. Let me think, what can I do? Oh, what's going on with my mouse here? So let's start the APU here. Yeah, the button is not cooperating. So we start on the manual panel. Take a look outside, see the APU starting. Complete silence. I don't see the APU starting. It is blinking. And I got the auxiliary pump 2 to feed it. Let's just wait a moment to see if it turns on. In the meantime, let's carry on with the flight planning itself. Let's listen to ATC 80s.
Flight restrictions are in effect for Oxy. Advise on initial contact you have information Alpha.
We got Alpha.
Oaks Airport, information Alpha. 0933 Zulu. Wind 10013. Light snow. Ceiling 900 broken. Temperature -05. Dew point -06. QNH 1010. Landing runway 11. Departing runway 15. Transition level 070. Temporary flight restrictions are in effect for Oxy. Advise on initial contact you have information Alpha. Oaks Airport, information Alpha, Sierra 903 Zulu, wind 100 at 1 tree, light snow, ceiling 900 broken, temperature -05, dew point -06, QNH 1010,
1010,
landing runway
alright.
11, departing runway 15, transition level 070.
1010. For some reason I got the QFE disabled, so I may need to go here to the options. This is so stupid to have QFE disabled. Why? May need to fly with weight conversion, which is bad, real bad. I don't know why QFE isn't available. QFE is disabled, but QNH 1016, right? 1016. There. Alright, we're good to go. Is the APU available? It's not. It's not available, and I do not know why. So, external power is on. Let's turn on the other pump. See if it does turn on the APU. Nope. Doesn't appear to be doing absolutely jack.
535, ready to copy IF, our clearance to Farage Airport.
Block 535, looks a delivery. Expect runway 15 Evan 5 Delta departure. Squawk 1000.
Evan 5 Delta departure, Squawk 1000, block 535.
Block 535, read back correct.
Let's go for the emergency power. See if we can get the
engine start.
We'll contact ground 121.905 when ready for pushback or engine start. Block 535, thanks.
Doesn't make sense. So, APU is not being powered. It does have hydraulic. We got the auxiliary pump going. Let's stop the... We got... Let's not go to manual. So, it's not even starting, so there's no electrical power to start the APU, which doesn't make sense. Unless it's fed by the Gen 1, but these are the engine generators, power generators, so I wonder what's going on. We do have external power. We got the auxiliary pump too as required. We just don't have APU start. There's no failures. I've already checked those. Plane is electrified. It's really, really, really weird. APU gen is off. I did test the phone. So why can I start APU? Well, it doesn't really compute now. So there's ice detected, that much is known, but that's just something we can work with the anti-ice system. So let's turn all these on for now. And let's just turn this on. Just, well, the engine anti-ice won't work until the engines are on. Let's see if that's the problem. No, nothing happens. Ooh la la. Ooh la la. What is going on? I'm gonna go outside and get the air starter working. So that should be connected somewhere over here. Where's the air starting connected? There it goes. So we can at least start the engines on the spot. Last attempt. So airflow valve. Last try. One final try to start the APU. Gen drive disconnected, yeah. Gen APU off, that's expected. Alright, let's stop that, it's not gonna work. Alright, let's start our engines on the spot, so we need to clear the ground equipment. If we cannot start with air supply, then there's not going to be much to do. Right, stairs are clear.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for push. Due to icing conditions, please stand by for e-engine start until push is completed and brakes are set.
Oh, that's even worse. So basically, I cannot start the engines. Oh my god.
Departure checks completed, bypass pin inserted.
I'm thinking about this, but I can't see a way to go around this. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start engine 1 and see where this takes us. So let's go to 15% on N2 and switch on the gas.
Locking gear.
In the meantime, let's go back here to performance. Yeah, 22.6. Yeah, stand by for that. 22.7 is not. Alright, so start. Number 3. Don't try this at home, boys. So the weights may have changed. Alright, here we go. Weights have been corrected. Alright, 50%. Go in. generator. One is disconnected and I cannot turn that on. Let's set up the beacon. Start number 2, sorry. Did I forget to turn on the AP power? Hold on a second, this could be the issue. But I can't. There's no power to it. Everything's correct. I don't see the issue here. So it started with ground hair, which isn't standard at all. Can turn off the external power. Oh my god. Alright, so we got all 3 engines. Now let's call ATC. Request for pushback. Actually, we need to request
FedEx 764 Heavy, ready for IFR clearance to Fiumicino Airport.
FedEx 764 Heavy, Boxy delivery. Expect runway 15 5 Delta departure. Squawk 1000.
Edna 5 Delta departure. Squawk 1000. FedEx 764 Heavy.
Alright.
FedEx 764 Heavy, read back correct. Contact ground 121.905 when ready for push or start.
Runway
Ground
15.
121.905 when ready for pushback or engine start.
AV
FedEx 764 Heavy. Have a good day.
Delta. And insert. Now let's go for takeoff. Let's set our performance now. A bit of a get updated weather, get takeoff weight, calculate. Alright, we got 136, 136, 145. So flaps 10, which we'll set in a moment, and 136, 136, 145, and we don't need winds, but let's try 5 minus 5 OAT. And there's always a format error, not sure about a 5. Can we insert 5? No, there's always a format error. It's not important because we got our V-speed set for temperature. And we're going to set flex 59 for takeoff. 5-9er. Alright, so we're good to go. Let's just set the flaps 10 here. Alright, flaps 10. And we're going to request push and start.
FedEx 764 Heavy, at ramp 76 request pushback.
FedEx 764 Heavy, Boxy ground, pushback approved. Bay southwest.
Pushback and engine start approved, face southwest. FedEx 764 Heavy.
Right, so southwest. Break off. Actually, do we need to go outside? Because I don't think ground air disconnects manually. Yeah, it does. Alright, now it's disconnected. The chocks are still there. Yeah, the chocks are still there for some reason. This is not going alright. This is not good. parking brake disconnected, but the chocks are still there. And there's no services here. Oh, there's GPU chocks. Right, parking brake off. Hello?
All aircraft be advised, information Bravo no current, QNH1010.
I can't do that. Oh, come on. Oh my god. This is not going okay. So let's try starting APU now. Guys, you know what? I can't do anything with the GSX for now, so let's just restart GSX. Please. Restart Coal, and let's just deal with that later. Let's request taxi to runway.
FedEx 764 Heavy taxi for departure.
FedEx 764 Heavy, runway 15, taxi via uniform 1 Alpha 2 Alpha 0.
Alright, we'll taxi to runway 15 via uniform 1 Alpha 2 Alpha 0 FedEx 764 Heavy.
Alright, don't try this at home, boys. So we need to make a U-turn here. So we'll set flaps. Oops, too much. There you go. So we got no APU, which sometimes it happens, but again, not sure why. Pretty sure this there's an explanation for that, but it's probably connected to that APU Gen 1. Then, alright, let's go right here.
FedEx 764 Heavy, contact Oxytal 118.305.
Contact our 118.305
Already?
FedEx 764 Heavy.
Alright, nice. We're gonna perform the final checks here. Not exactly here, but up there in the Cat 1 holding point. Turn on my track IR here. There we go. Stop right here. And I'm gonna perform the final checks. Set parking brake. Done. Alright, final check. So let's turn on our weather radar. And the system, and let's switch this to radar, and we got, I'm gonna set FMS speed, we're gonna set FNAV and profile. They're both armed. Little light, and we're gonna set VOR1, VOR2. We got our flight plan in. Everything looks fine. Over here we got this disconnected APU gen for some reason. Also not working. Looks good. Request
FedEx
departure.
764 Heavy, ready to go. Runway 15.
FedEx 764 Heavy, exit tower, wind 10013, runway 15 cleared for takeoff.
Runway 15 cleared for takeoff. FedEx 764 Heavy.
Alright. We are cleared. Let's go in. So we need to trim for takeoff. There it is. Set anti-ice. Here we go. Rolling. Airspeed alive. V1, rotate. Positive right, gear up. Auto flight. Speed check, flaps up. Yeah, I know.
FedEx 764 Heavy, reset transponder.
You're right.
1000.
You're right.
Squawk
I'm sorry.
1000, FedEx 764 Heavy.
My bad. Now I
FedEx 764 Heavy, contact Warsaw departure 135.93.
Contact Warsaw departure 135.93 FedEx 764 Heavy. Warsaw departure, FedEx 764 Heavy, 2,900 feet.
FedEx 764 Heavy, Warsaw departure, identified, climb to flight level 190.
Climb to flight level 190, FedEx 764 Heavy.
So after takeoff checklist, these can be already retracted. Gear is up and flaps retracted. So we are following Evan 5 Delta. This one right here. Alright. So we're now on this point here and heading towards this one. Climbing for flight level 190. Speed check, slats retract. Oh, already retracted, alright. Might have jumped the gun there on the slats, but no big deal. Passing 10,000. External lights.
Stabilizer motion.
Alright, now it's correct. Oh, this one. Alright. Yeah, the buzzer is the stabilizer motion. It scares me all the time, but it's not a problem. It's just a system telling us that the stabilizer is moving.
Stabilizer motion.
There it goes again. What else can we do here? That's for cockpit lighting. I didn't set that up correctly. So we're going into the soup. So there's the random.
FedEx 764 Heavy, contact Warsaw Control 127.45.
Contact Warsaw Control 127.45, FedEx 764 Heavy, bye-bye. Warsaw Control, FedEx 764 Heavy, to flight level 168 for flight level 190 direct mid-K.
FedEx 764 Heavy, Warsaw Control, radar contact, climb to flight level 380.
Climb to flight level 380, FedEx 764 Heavy.
Austrian 635 Alpha, Warsaw Control, expected to 2 Bravo, runway 19er. Expected to 2 Bravo, runway 19er, Austrian 635 Alpha. Lot 4 Charlie Alpha, contact Warsaw approach 125.055.
So we are on the final leg of the SID, direct to Evina, right there.
Magic Sun 7603, contact Budapest information, not information approach 134.855.
No ice detected, that's cool.
Budapest information, not information approach 134.855, Magic Sun 7603.
Actually, let's keep that on the windshield.
Emirates 98
So
X-ray
let's
heavy,
just
Warsaw
turn it
Control,
off.
expect Lundy 6 November, runway 11. Expect Lundy 6 November, runway 11, Emirates 98 X-ray heavy.
Warsaw Control, Lot 4 Hotel Victor, through flight level 082 for flight level 100 direct access.
Speed service Oscar Delta, Warsaw Control, expect Nickney 5 Romeo, runway 11. Expect Nickney 5 Romeo, runway 11, speed service Oscar Delta.
Aside from the
Speed service
slight
Delta,
crosswinds,
Warsaw Control, expect Nickney
weather
5
is
Romeo,
okay.
runway 11.
We're just above the cloud layer, so
runway 11,
sun.
speed service November Delta. Speed service November Delta, contact Gdansk approach 133.66. Contact Gdansk approach 133.66, speed service November Delta.
Take a good look outside.
Hotel Victor, Warsaw Control, good day, radar contact, climb to flight level 150.
You can see the outflow valve is fully open. It's not every day you see a split horizontal stabilizer. It's one nice characteristic of this plane. Usually it's an all integrated system with just one single moving surface, plus the entire stabilizer will move. But this one has one entire stabilizer that moves, as well as two control surfaces, which is really cool. Oh, the landing lights are still extended, so let's just retract it. There, see the landing lights there? Still extending. So I just pressed for them to be retracted. Actually, I pressed them to be turned on. Let's. They need to move up and retract. That's like so. See, now they're retracted.
Lot 6522 heavy, contact Warsaw approach 125.055.
Contact Warsaw approach 125.055, lot 6522 heavy.
Warsaw Control, Anatolia 7 Hotel Papa, flight level 340. Anatolia 7 Hotel Papa, Warsaw Control, identified.
Alright, so we don't have a moving map. We only have the ND as a moving map, but we can follow the flight. Here, go to Simbrief dispatch, view, import route, and we can import it from Simbrief so you can have a visual flight following. There it is. So This is our plane with the blue circle, and this is our current flight down there to Rome.
Expect lot of 6 November, runway 11, with a 6442.
I'm gonna open this later. Just gonna turn off my track IR.
Information approach 123.855.
Contact Vilnius information approach 123.855 Austrian 635 Alpha.
Yeah. So some issues going on with this plane. So currently, I don't have an APU, so I don't even know if this is an MEL issue, and I shouldn't even be flying. The fact that the planes can be started. Oh yes, she is here, Andrew. The fact that these planes can be started with a ground air supply kind of makes me think that you can still carry on as long as you can turn on the engines and move on. But at the same time, you saw that GSX was conflicted, so it couldn't move the plane with the engines running, which is a safety hazard, and completely comprehensible. But maybe I shouldn't have taken this flight in terms of safety, of course. Yeah, but then again, there would be no live stream if I did.
Warsaw Control, Baltic 629, 2,000 feet.
Betsy says, hi Andrew.
629, Warsaw Control, radar contact, continue climb to 5,000.
So this plane has an automatic chronometer, so it's counting the minutes of flight after takeoff. Like I usually say,
Speed service, Oscar Delta, contact cadence approach 132.
like I usually say when flying this plane, there's a lot of things. The MD-11 was ahead of its time, so the automation is quite high on this plane, and there's a lot of systems here. So hydraulic, electrical, and air and fuel are all automatically managed by the computer, which is a great thing. It's actually amazing for a plane from the late 70s or early 80s. And FedEx system for the engines, and a lot of small stuff like this, like the fact that it starts counting time, elapsed time from takeoff, and that's really cool. And there's a lot of different little things, like the FMS logic is very similar, very reminiscent of the Airbus logics, actually.
Altitude.
So we're coming up on our cruise altitude of flight level 380. And if you have ever seen the cockpit from the DC-10, which is like the precursor to the MD-11, you will notice that it's a very different logic with all these glass panels. It looked very much ahead of its time. Unfortunately for the MD-11, as we discussed in the previous stream, the advent of reliable twin jets was the downfall for every trijet there was. So the L1011 and the MD-11, as well as the DC-10, which still flew, I believe, when the MD-11 was released, they were all taken aback by the fact that there were more reliable twin engines. So the 777, the 767, 757, A300, and later on the A330 really killed the concept of the trijet, and after some time it also killed the concept of the four-jet. So yeah, so we're at cruise. We can turn off the seatbelt signs. So this plane is a cargo aircraft. We'll go back there to the cabin in a moment. I'm still not sure what happened with the APU. Something fishy happening with the APU. So this button, usually you just press it and it will it will just feed the system automatically, turn on the APU, and then afterwards turn on the APU power bus. But yeah, for some reason it's not working. Plus, the APU gen here is off for some reason, unknown. There's nothing to do with this actually, because this is pretty much automated. So something must have happened. In the last flight, I accidentally pressed this disconnect button, and since then, it never reconnected. And I've reset the entirety of the systems on the external program for failures, and it's not a failure. It's something that's not happening for some reason, and I don't really know why. Because you saw the checklists. There's nothing to it. There's no like turn on the APU system. There's no such thing. You just turn on the button here. It will cycle the power for the APU and then switch on the bus when it's ready. But I pressed that button, nothing happened, and I pressed the manual startup button right there for the APU start. Still didn't happen. They were blinking, but the APU just didn't have any power. So, not sure. Really not sure. So, let's go back here and see the differences with the cargo variant of this aircraft. So, first off, you can see that there are 3 seats only here. That's for the crew. And when I say it's the crew, it's most likely pilot, co-pilot, and engineer, plus a possible load master and a possible mechanic, flight mechanic, depending on the flight. So that's it. There's no more people flying this. There's no flight attendants, no stewardesses. This is not a commercial. What?
Clear of conflict.
That was really odd because the traffic was way up over here. Very far away. See where the traffic is?
Clear of conflict.
And there's not even a visual on it. Good thing it was nothing. So there's no direct access to the cargo hold. There is a small door here, but as you can see, it has no interaction, so we can't really open it. And I can't even move the character to that area. I can only move it to the door right here, and you can see that there's cargo there. You can see through the porthole here. Well, actually, no, there's no cargo there. And there's a funny light as if the door is open, but it's not. It's cool to see this, but it would be even cooler to see the cargo itself. But anyway, this door is only used for emergencies, to inspect cargo and stuff like that. There's not really a door per se, and you really need to crouch down. You can see it's set seated head level. But it's funny to see that all these 3 seats have their own oxygen mask, pull-up oxygen mask, not an automated one. The doors, of course, will open sliding up and down on this side. And there's the cargo door system. So basically, you open or close the big cargo door for the cargo area from inside. And it's really cool. There's also a panel on the outside, I believe. I have not checked yet, but I think there is. That's it. There's no pantry. I mean, there's a small stuff here. There's just to eat up some food, I guess. There's probably a microwave oven inside. Some coffee machine, I believe. What's written there? Close and secure. No, there's no description on what these are, but I would say it's just a small little. There's a refrigerator here. Yeah, there's a refrigerator, so probably one of these is a refrigerator. There must be a oven, and I don't see a coffee machine. Oh, this is probably a coffee machine. Most important item on board any aircraft in the world is the coffee machine. You all know that. So FedEx MD-11. As far as I know, I've not seen the FedEx MD-11 in Europe flying, at least not recently. Back in the day, probably. FedEx operates, of course, mainly from the US, but nowadays it's a global operation. It's not as frequent to see it in Europe, of course, but I believe I've seen FedEx flights all over the world. As for the MD-11 FedEx, there's a weird story about this particular airplane, and it involves a cargo flight. Oh, sorry, my headset fell off. It involves a cargo flight in the United States, and I'm gonna try to retrieve that story for you guys because it's a really weird story from a FedEx MD-11, and there was a disturbance on board. Alright, so there's been a few crashes, but it's not even a crash. Yeah, alright, here it is. It wasn't an MD-11, actually it was a DC-10. But it's a really weird flight. So it's called Flight 705. You guys can go online and check it. So FedEx Flight 705 was coming out of Memphis, Tennessee to San Jose, California. And there was an attempt to hijack it, not by an external individual, but actually from a FedEx employee. So apparently this guy called Auburn Calloway, it was facing dismissal. So it was going to be fired, apparently for some documentation falsification or something. And he boarded this flight, FedEx Flight 705, as a deadhead passenger. So a deadhead passenger is like someone taking a ride. If it's within the company, it takes a ride. For example, if he needs to go pick up a plane on a different airport, he might pick up a flight with either same company or a different company. We call that a deadhead. So it's a deadhead because he's neither a passenger, a paying passenger, or a member of the crew. It's just in for the ride. He's taking a ride somewhere. And he boarded a plane with, I believe it was a guitar box, like a box with a guitar inside. I think that was it. But inside there were some weapons. There were hammers and spear gun, I think that's what it's called. And the idea was, since he was going to get fired, he wanted to take some money, so he tried to collect insurance money, but he needed to make it look like it was an accident. So he boarded that flight with the idea of disabling both pilots and crashing the plane. I believe he wanted to crash the plane into the FedEx building, something like that. And if it was proven, or at least if there was no indication of an issue, there would be millions in insurance for his family. So he tried to do that. So he boarded that flight with the sole intention of crashing that plane. And so everything that transpired came out of the cockpit voice recorded and the pilot's testimonies as well. So they all survived, so no one died, so that's a good thing. But what happened was mid-flight, yeah, okay, I'm reading now the event. So mid-flight, this guy, Auburn Calloway, tried to disable the cockpit voice recorded. The flight engineer noticed and turned it back on. So he probably just flipped one of these switches we got over here. Yeah, so right here there are multiple circuit breakers, so if the guy was here and tried to turn off the cockpit voice recorder, one of these is a CVR, so it just pulled that switch aft, so pull the switch, trying to turn it off, and the flight engineer noticed it and flip it back in, believing that was just neglect. So he didn't think that the pilot or the employee was trying to mess with the flight. So later on, Callaway decided to put his plan in motion, and he attacked the crew. First, he tried to hit the crew members with the hammer. Actually, he did hit the crew members with the hammer. And with that, if the plane would ever crash, the blunt trauma would be justified with the airplane's impact. There would be no weapons. He didn't take any pistols or anything of the sort, and he decided to disguise it as an accident. But unfortunately for Callaway, the crew fought back. So there were three crew members. So there was a pilot, co-pilot, and the flight engineer on that cockpit. And as he tried to hit he did hit the pilots and the co-pilot, but the pilots fought back. And one of the pilots, I believe it was the co-pilot, just grabbed onto him, and the other tried to remove the hammer from his hand, and they literally tried to secure the guy, but apparently doing that they fought over the flight controls, and it is known that the plane did some extreme turns. Okay, so here's the detail. So Callaway went into the back to get his weapons, entered the flight deck, and attacked Peterson, Tucker, and Sanders. These are the pilots and flight engineer. All three members of the crew received multiple blows from a hammer. Both Peterson and Tucker, the first officer, suffered fractured skulls, and Peterson's temporal artery was severed, so bleeding. The blow to Tucker's head drilled shards. Oh my god, this is too graphic. Let's not go into that. But they were still conscious, regardless of the major injuries they now had. Captain Sanders reported that during the beginning of the attack, he could not discern any emotion from Callaway, just simply a face in his eyes. Weird. When Callaway seized his hammer attack, Peterson and Sanders began to get out of their seats to go after Callaway. Callaway left the cockpit and retrieved his spear gun. He came back into the cockpit and threatened everyone to sit back down on their seats. Despite a loud ringing in his ear and being unbalanced and dazed, Peterson grabbed the gun by the spear between the barbs and the barrel. Tucker and an ex-Navy pilot performed an extreme aerial maneuvers. Oh, this is why there were some extreme maneuvers with the aircraft. As the struggle between Callaway and the other crew members ensued, he pulled the plane to a sudden climb. Let's go back here. Just look at them. He pulled the plane to a sudden climb, throwing Sanders, Peterson, and Callaway out of the cockpit and into the galley to try to throw Callaway off balance. Tucker then turned the plane on the left roll almost to its side. This rolled the man along the smoke curtain into the left side of the galley. So basically there was a fight on board, and the pilot tried to turn the plane some extreme maneuvers to throw off the attacker so that he could be contained. Apparently this worked because the guy was really contained, and they were able to land a few hours later. They landed in Memphis. Oh, they went back to Memphis, requested an ambulance and armed intervention, and police got on board, captured Callaway, and everybody was taken off the plane and treated to their injuries. Unfortunately, I believe both the captain and the co-pilot could never fly again, which is unfortunate. They lost their careers just there, but they were heroes, and they saved a lot of people because Callaway's intention was to use the plane as a weapon, and they prevented that, and they fought the guy. So really weird story. If you guys want to know more, search online for Federal Express Flight 705. It wasn't an MD-11, it was a DC-10, but you know, still FedEx, still a McDonnell Douglas. DC-10 is more or less the father of the MD-11. So really weird story, and I remember seeing that story in National Geographic a few years ago. So we're now in Bratislava. So we're gonna see. So we're expecting to land on right 4 Alpha. Let's use this one here. Let's program. So here we are in terms of distance. Still some distance to go. Let's go for our dispatch here. So we're expecting runway 16 Lima via right 4 Alpha. Alright, let's go down here. So let's Learf and let's set the star. So it's going to be runway 16 Lima. Oh, what's this? Lima W, X, and Y. Oh.
Adjust vertical speed. Adjust.
What? What is this? What the heck is going on?
Clear of conflict.
It's like sending bogus... Do we have any planes around us? Actual planes? I don't see anything. There's no jet trails. It's like it's sending out bogus GPWS, TCAS warnings. It did that a moment ago. Yet another thing to report. I don't know. Is there a Zulu? If there's a Zulu, we'll use the Zulu. Oh, there it is. So 16, no, actually. So this is 16 right. We're going to use 16 left. So always use the higher number. So let's use the X-ray. And we're going to use right. Of course, all of this can change if ATC gives us a different approach. And it's also the RNAV. Yeah, let's do so. As for the approach, it's right T, right 4 Alpha. Where is right 4 Alpha? Oh my god, get this. Right 3 Papa. 3 Romeo, oh my, right 4 Alpha, there we go. So right 4 Alpha, and transition, we need to search it. So arrival airport charts, star, right 4 Alpha, so Casino, 4 Bravo, 4 Alpha. Yes, there it is. So there's the airport. So we are coming in from the north. So right here, probably Exama. Alright. So everything's selected, but ATC could just... Did I forget to? I did forget to insert. My bad. Yeah, I'm under the weather a little bit, guys, so hang in there. Hang with me. So, again, right B. For Alpha, there it is. And now, transition Exama. Now we insert it. There it is. Nice. Alright. Now the flight plan's in for all the way in. I usually don't like to see air disasters, you know, like Mayday. But some of the things that they do show on those shows is actually pretty important for flight safety in terms of what can you expect from certain situations and conditions during the flight that you could prevent accidents. So I'm going to time accelerate real quick. So 1, 2. Did it time accelerate? Oh, what is this? Hello, Mirsha. Welcome. Good to see you as well. How are you?
Warsaw Control 127.45.
Contact Warsaw Control 127.45 Roger, Air Force 108, bye-bye.
Well, Mirsha, I have a flu. I'm not really that good, and there's been some cold days here, and I couldn't make the live streams because the power was going out every time I tried. At least twice when I tried to go live, and so I decided not to. But other than that, I'm okay, I suppose. Yeah, it's just the flu. No big deal. There are worse things. My voice is just all messed up with the flu, but I have a slight suspicion this is COVID, but not sure. So I don't really care. I've had COVID a few times, and this doesn't look like it, but I've lost all sense of smell and taste, so it probably is. It's no big deal, actually. So as you can see, we still have issues with this plane, so gen drive disconnect is still on. I cannot revert this, and I have gen APU off. Not sure what's going on here, but there's not much you can do for all right. There's not much you can do for the APU generation. So it's my honest belief that there is an issue. There's a bug here happening. So yeah, I'm gonna show you. So for this plane, the only logic there is to turn on the APU power. It will cycle between the starter, APU starting up, and then you need to have the auxiliary pump 2 to feed the APU, or you can manually start here. This is like you know, a manual start for the APU, while this is an automatic system, so to speak. But as you can see, sorry, as you can see, APU gen is off, and you can't turn it off for some reason. It remains off. So yeah, it's weird, and there's nothing more you can do. You can switch the APU bleed, but that's it. We got the engine igniters. Everything regarding the engine is working. It's just the APU is not working for some reason. There's anything you need to turn on other than make sure the battery is on, the emergency electrical power is on. There's no like APU generation or APU power to, except for that button over there that was off. So there's no justification for this, and I already made a couple of screenshots. I'm going to show it to the team because I'm pretty sure this is a bug. If it's not a bug, if it's anything else, I'll make sure to review it on a possible next flight. So again, the weather radar, it looks weird, triangular in shape. I'm also going to make a picture of that to send. So I'm not a beta tester, but I really enjoy these products, and I want to help them fix. So I'll talk to the developers and show what I see, and have them go at it. So let's reopen this. So I actually think one of the developers is available, so I'll just write him right now. Meanwhile, we're switching to Vienna, Austria. And I'm back. So there's some rough weather up ahead. Hello, I don't use this account. Well, if you avoid the mountains, to avoid the mountains, you just fly above them or around them. If you're talking about like establishing a flight plan and then realize that while descending there will be mountains, well, you either descend slower, so shallower to avoid the mountains, or you follow the correct flight plan. When I say correct flight plan, you will see that these charts here, they'll have minimum altitudes. So obey to these altitudes. So for example, right here, you should reach this waypoint Exama at 200 knots at 4,000 feet. Better case in point is right here. This is a holding point here for DSUC, Bopov and DSUC. You can see here that the flight level here should be at 160, so 16,000 feet. If you fly anything below this, you might hit these mountains, so just obey to the charts. Of course, not a lot of people have these charts. These are Navigraph charts. Flight Simulator also has charts. You can see them here. Flight Simulator 2024, that is. So you can see here, you can go to routes, and there will be charts. I don't use this that much, so sorry if I'm not too savvy on the Flight Simulator charts, but they are here somewhere. Navlog clip charts, there it is. So for example, this chart here, you might not have Navigraph, but you'll certainly on Flight Simulator 2024, you'll certainly have the Lido charts, which are these. So let's search for our approach, which is right B 4 alpha. So star. That's for runway 16. And you can see here the same information, although a bit more confusing. I really don't like the Lido format. But as you can see right here, the Mopov and DSUC, and you'll see here that the minimum altitude is 8,100. So this one is an advisory, one's flight level 160. This one is a minimum altitude, right? Between flight level 110 is the recommended, so flight level 130 right here between these 2 points, and then flight level 110, then coming down 6,000 feet. But you can see right next to it is the minimum altitude, which is 4,500. That's because these mountains here, the peak of these mountains is 3,284 AGL. So if you want to avoid these mountains here, you need to obey to the charts. So right here, DSUC, flight level 160, just like here. This is the altitude and speed is 330 knots, 230 knots. So this is the recommended altitude, not recommended, mandatory altitude and speed. And these are like the minimums, you know, the ones you can achieve. This is while on the holding. Then you can come down to flight level 110, and then which is the next reference point right here, RF 412. So flight level 110. See, it's telling you to descend to that, but you cannot go below 8,100 because there are peaks. These peaks are not that high, so 4,068. So at 8,100, you will still be clearing these mountains. If you go like 4,000 feet on this point and you hit the mountain, that's because you're not reading the chart. And again, these are free. These are available in Flight Simulator 2024. These are paid, these are free. This is Jepson, this is Lido. I think Lido are more confusing. I mean, look at this. Everything's here. It's really confusing. These are cleaner, a little less convoluted. I prefer the Gibson charts all day, any day. But if you don't have neither of these, let's say you don't have neither Gibson or Lido charts for some reason, you don't have them, or you don't know how to read them, or you don't care. Even if you don't have those, and you look outside and you see a mountain, and ATC is telling you to descend 4,000 feet, but you see a mountain right over there, right in front of you, remember the rule: aviate, navigate, communicate. So ATC tells you descend 4,000 feet, but you see a mountain up ahead, you first aviate the plane. Just avoid the mountain. Then you navigate to make sure that you go towards the destination you want to go, and then call ATC and say unable. That's it. Or if you can't call ATC to say enable, just make a shallow dive, descent, not a dive. Make a shallow descent and make sure that you overpass, go over the mountain before you start descending. So that's it. That's how you avoid mountains. Other aircraft also have the terrain. The terrain. It's not a radar, but it's the terrain depiction. So you turn on a button, which is this one right here. Right now it's in radar, but if I press it, it goes to terrain. I'll show you. You won't see anything on the screen, but so now it's in terrain, range 160 nautical miles terrain. If I push the button, it goes to weather tilt 0. WX, it's weather radar tilt 0. So you can have like a terrain depiction on your ND. That will help you with terrain avoidance, but that's a visual indication, right? So always rely on the external, your Mark II eyeballs to look outside. If you don't have if you have low visibility, of course, there's really not much you can do other than relying on that terrain depiction. But remember, that's not radar. That's a terrain depiction. It's based on pre-recorded information. There could be obstacles like power lines or trees. Those aren't depicted on the terrain elevation indications. So best thing to do is just fly above the minimums. Never fly below them, because if you fly below the minimums, you're inviting yourself to issues. So where are we now? All right, so coming up on top of descent should be somewhere near Unumu. Let's confirm that. Yeah, right before Temu. That will be already in Italian airspace. It's alright, Marsha. I like to explain stuff. I am just apologize for my voice today. It's not the best. I cannot do a Donald Trump imitation today. My voice is not the best. There's never been such a bad voice as this one, but maybe the worst voice ever. It's so easy to imitate the guy because he has this unique inflection to his words, and he uses this weird grammar to his speech. So we are at more or less 200 nautical miles from the descent. There's again a square weather radar depiction. We passed halfway. So guys, if you enjoy what you're watching, remember to leave a like, subscribe, share with your friends if you feel like they will like it too. And if you want to donate, I'll really appreciate. There's a QR code on your upper right screen for the Buy Me a Coffee application. So anything that's been donated will be reinvested in future add-ons and sceneries. So we're now in Ljubljana radar. Our plane is the the one with the blue circle. I'm sorry I have to show it like that because this EFB does not have flight following. So I just need to use the Flight Simulator 1, which isn't the best, or at least it will show us where we're going. I wish I could just reduce the size of this, because it's way too big. Oh, there it is. Small. Ah, much better. I mean, I wish it could be even smaller, but this is good. This is good enough. So, yeah. Weather in Europe right now is not the best. So as you can see, we've been flying and clouds everywhere. And we're about to hit Italy, where initially, way back in the morning, I was looking at the weather there, and oh, I was pressing the throttle here. Hope I didn't mess anything. I was watching the weather in Italy, and it wasn't that bad, but maybe it's gotten rough. We'll see. You can see the autopilot is constantly adjusting. Because we have left nose wind, which isn't helping our speeds and fuel consumption, and a slight side wind coefficient from the right. So wind coming forward and right. I just remembered something. There's a maintenance. So self-test. Oh, I've checked this earlier. There's no real. I wanted to see if there was a reset button for these two failures here, but there's no reset option. So we have to fly without generator 1 and with no APU. So we had to circumvent. We had to go around GSX. If you guys want to revert back to the initial first few minutes of this live stream, you'll see that I had to reset GSX and just taxi manually. Couldn't push back. I mean, I don't think this plane has like manual pushback, does it? ASU, wheel chocks, GPU knows. No, doesn't have it. So there was no official way to push back the plane, and unfortunately that led me to do some skidding around the tarmac to get into taxi, and I had to start the engines with ground air supply, which isn't really normal, and it does happen. I've seen a few planes doing that. You have to start on point we have to start the engines on the terminal, but then GSX doesn't really compute that, and just tells you to shut down your engines to request push and start, which is weird because it was already the tug was already connected, everything was clear, so it might as well just push the plane back and allow me to start the engines on the gate. So still some time to go down to Rome. Let's check the weather in Rome while we're at it right away. So let's pick up our TFB here, Simbrief, WX, populate from last flight, there it is. So this is nice, we can see the cow charts. Nice, you can see the weather charts, they're really cool. Alright, let's go back to, how do I get out of here? Alright, so let's go down, whoops, populate, search. Alright, so this is Warsaw. It's behind us. Now let's see. Yeah, still good. Still KVOC. So weather is still okay. VFR for Rome. Although within the time frame, it's really hard to say because as you can see, the TAF says showers, thunderstorm rain, shower rain, thunderstorm rain. It's all becoming. So right now, between 6 and 8 o'clock, there should be showers, but as you can see, no showers. So the weather is just keeps changing. But there are thunderstorms in the vicinity as far as I can see, and the QNH is low, so there could be rain, but since it says no SIG, so no significant change, and it's still on VFR, we should be alright for runway 16 left. And the winds are calm, I mean 7 knots is nothing. Well, any wind for this particular plane can be a mess, but here's hoping. Here's hoping it's not. Alright, so and Baxon will mark the point where we'll enter Italian airspace. So far, aside from the initial engine startup and GSX issues, flight has been uneventful. And look at those fluffy clouds. It kind of makes us wish we could go down there and just hop around this huge cotton field, right? Clouds are amazing. They can be as beautiful as they can be destructive, depending on which side of where you are. If you're above them, they're most likely peaceful looking and beautiful, but if you're below them, no, that's something else. And I've seen up close Storm Ingrid passing through my country, and I've seen it all. I've seen heavy rain, I've seen hail, I've seen snow, all in the expanse of 3 days. It was weird. Saturday morning, so yesterday morning, there was literal snowstorm. Not big, but enough to fill the roads with snow. It was beautiful, but at the same time extremely dangerous, because you know these people where I live, this is not a snow part of the country. It doesn't usually snow, and no one has like snow tires, so slippery and wet, and the roads were, and people were. I saw at one accident at least. Someone skidded off road with the ice. It does happen. No one got hurt. At least not no accident I've seen. But yeah, storms are beautiful. Clouds are beautiful. I mean, storms are not that beautiful. It's funny to see this little details. Can you see that? There's the scratching on this panel here. Look at that. TFDi didn't need to do this, but it has 3D, a 3D effect. It's probably an extrusion texture, But look at that, it looks so cool. Looks so detail oriented, even though you don't need that. You don't need that. You don't need these dirt marks. You don't need to see the screws. And look at that. They're not, most companies will just copy paste the textures. One screw would look just like the other. But look at this. They went to on the effort to make them slightly turned so that they don't look like repeated textures. Look at that. That's detail. Oh, there's a lever here. Condition and hair. Oh. Actually, it's not 3D, that's a texture. Look at that. It's this. Oh, there's a knob here. So the knob should go there to close off the air conditioning, which probably comes out from a vent somewhere up here. There it is. No, so maybe this lever here controls the air to the cockpit, so that in case there's smoke on board, they can cut off the conditioned air. That's nice. So let's go to Zagreb, Croatia. I gotta operate to a few of these airports here. I don't think I have any of these airports though. So they might look sparse. Beaufort. Some weird sounding airlines call signs, at least in this part of the world. Betsy's with us today. You're not wearing your seatbelts, Betsy. Look at that. Seatbelt's lying on the cushion, and you're sitting above it. She's a daredevil. She doesn't care if we crash. She just doesn't care. Do you care? You don't. Yeah, alright, I'll stop talking. The flu is, it just makes your nose stuffy. It makes your voice sound like you're a 60-year-old old man. I have, my body aches, just the flu. It doesn't kill you, but it's miserable nevertheless. Well, people can die from the flu if they're not treated, but you know what I'm talking about. Look at that. It's a weird effect here. You see that? If I zoom in, talking about this effect here. If I zoom in, it disappears. Zoom out. Zoom in. Zoom out. It's like the sun, isn't it? It's like the sun is projected here. It's no big deal. You can see there's a little hole here, and it interferes with that as well. The LOD in Flight Simulator 2024, the LOD, so level of detail over distance, is messed up. So we're coming up on the top of descent. It's at about 100 nautical miles. After that, we will, before that, we'll get our descent clearance, probably right after Baxen. Egypt Air going to Milan. We're probably gonna reach Milan center, then Rome center. There's a little hole for VFR approaches. I know a pilot that does regional flights, and most of these regional airports don't have ILS or VOR or any precision or non-precision approach, so it's all VFR approaches. And what I just said was a joke, that little hole in the clouds, but in real life it's not that much of a joke. So if you're coming up on a certain altitude and you need to descend towards the airport, pilots may circle around for a few moments, and if they see an opening on the clouds and they can see the airport and they can see that they can come in and land, they'll do it. If not, they'll just move on to the alternate. That's pretty normal for regional flying, especially in the mountains when there are so many hazards. They don't take chances descending through the clouds. Doesn't make sense. But in this condition, that hole is just a hole. If I was to make my approach and I needed to go IFR, that's not an option. You can see the tip of the mountains here. So probably this little bit here. It's popping up over the clouds. It's beautiful and scary at the same time to think that beneath us, well, right now there's water, because this is we're flying over water. But flying, for example, in this part here, and being above the clouds, and the cloud cover is so thick as it is right now, it's scary to think that, well, I'm gonna have to descend sometime. Right? I'm going to have to descend somewhere sometime, and I know there's mountains underneath. It's pretty scary. It's probably more or less what's going to happen next when we reach the Italian coast, because there's some, not that tall, but there's still some high mountains. We're going to pass right between these two mountain formations, so we should be okay. But anyway, we'll be quite high. But imagine if you have to go low and there's this cloud layer. There's nothing beneath us but white. It's really scary. And there have been some accidents, of course, with that, pilots miscalculating their altitudes and position. There was an accident in the Azores Islands a few decades ago, where the pilots they thought they were someplace, and they were about a few miles to the side of where they thought they were, and instead of going through, they went into the mountain, unfortunately. And they were very experienced pilots. Situational awareness impaired by clouds or by low visibility like fog or haze is real. It does happen, even with experienced pilots. Even with airplanes that have these very advanced radar systems, ground mapping systems, which use the radar in real time to give the pilots a perspective of what's beneath them. Even those planes, relying on those systems may go into situational awareness, dizziness, fuzziness, and they might make wrong decisions. because they're either relying too much on the instruments or relying too little. So it's both extremes that can lead to accidents. You need to have a middle term, I suppose, relying on your instruments, of course, but also trusting the charts and double checking everything. It's like a woodworker, you know, measure twice, cut once. Same thing with aviation, I suppose. Instead of cutting, is measure twice, operate once. So, and in some circumstances, you might need to check more than twice, 3 times, 4 times, as much as you need to be sure of what you're going to do next, and always be ahead of your plane, which sometimes doesn't happen, unfortunately, because we are humans, and we think we are ahead of the plane, but the plane's playing us, literally playing us. And this airplane, the MD-11, is a good example of a plane that you really need to be ahead of it, because aside the automations, which are cool, there are some. For example, the pitch control, pitch authority, is a little weird on this plane, and you guys probably heard that this plane is hard to land at some point. And that's true. It is a little bit harder to land this plane than it would be any big wide-body aircraft, because the way the wings are designed. So let me take you outside. So if you look at an Airbus A330, for example, you will notice that the wings are not this arrow-shaped. So they are still arrow-shaped, but they're a little wider, and the angle is not as pronounced. And you also notice that this airplane has a lot of nose to the front. So usually these wings stay a little bit forward in the center of gravity. But because this plane has a third engine on the tail, the center of gravity needs to be pushed a little bit back. And that creates the necessity of having much more horizontal stabilizer control. So the plane has a semi-automatic system to control this rudder, this horizontal stabilizer. But as we're already on Italian airspace, by the way. But that will mean that this control surface is so small. You can see these are so small, but they're like that by design. And this forces us to do 2 things. One, you need to have higher approach speed, so this plane will be more or less 10 knots faster landing than any other wide-body plane. And number 2, the pitch authority is restricted. It's not like the computer denies you pitch control. It will just try to control it in its own way, if you know what I mean. And sometimes the pitch will be crazy. There's some violence to how the autopilot controls that pitch sometimes, especially when on cruise and trying to climb or descend. The pitch authority for the autopilot is a bit exaggerated. I'm not sure if that's how the real plane would behave, but it is what happens here. And then when it comes to controlling the plane on final, you need to be very careful not to overstress the plane, number 1, and number 2, you need to be very careful to make sure that you don't overpitch and not like hit the ground too hard or tail striking. That's because the pitch authority is a little messed up. But that's how the real plane behave, actually. And don't get me started on crosswinds, because that just makes things even worse. Because you saw that the rudder, the vertical rudder, is not that big. I mean, look at that. Compared to the size of the rest of the plane, this should be a little bigger, in my opinion. But I'm not an aircraft designer, so I'm just speculating. But this rudder It's not very effective with crosswinds, and given the fact that we have a huge engine beneath that rudder, doesn't help. This was something actually that the L1011 resolved by embedding the engine inside the fuselage, but neither the DC-10 or the MD-11, they both have the engines outside, so fully exposed. That's actually better for maintenance. So that was a plus for maintenance, but at the same time, it generates slight issues in rudder control. We were talking at the beginning of the stream about the size of these windows. Look at that. They are really big windows and really great visibility. You can almost see the wingtip. You don't really need to push yourself too hard to see the wingtip. All right, that's our approach. Cool. Let's increase the volume here. So we are going to start our descent in a moment. We're just going to wait a few minutes to reach our top of descent. You will see that we will have like a Boeing chevron E-bracket. It's pretty similar to Boeing. We can close this now. We're about to reach the Italian coast in a moment. We can already see land. You can see some ground features. This is still the sea. Then we can see.
Ryanair 5 November Foxtrot, contact Warsaw Tower 125.875. Over to Tower 125.875, Ryanair 5 November Foxtrot, bye-bye.
Alright, let's call ready for descent. First of all, let's make our passengers sit down. And yeah, that's it. Alright, now let's call it in. Call ready.
FedEx 764 Heavy, ready for descent.
FedEx 764 Heavy, right 4A, runway 16 left, descend to flight level 190.
Right 4A, runway 16 left, descend to flight level 190, FedEx 764 Heavy.
190.
Ryanair 990 Zulu,
And let's
contact
start our
Zagreb
profile.
radar 124.85, bye-bye. Contact Zagreb radar 124.85, Ryanair 990 Zulu.
It will start just like the Boeing when the E-bracket shows up here on the right side of the ND. We just call it in a bit too early, but we're already armed for that descent. Sorry. So we're just waiting for it to reach the descent bracket. Also, do it manually like this. So it will start descending. If you wanna, you see now the bracket there? So you can go back to profile. So it's like pressing manage descent on an Airbus. Same idea. Actually, it's not going profile. So we still have nose wind and it's 67 knots. That's really pushing us back, making us spend more fuel than necessary. a really good cruise speed, Mach 0.82. It was, earlier was 0.83. It's really good cruise speed. So this plane, in terms of aerodynamics, in terms of speed, was a pretty good plane. It's only when you try to land it, it was a real pain in the rear end. Still don't know why it's still going at 1,000. So if I decrease it, will it remain on the profile?
156 heavy. Good day. Flight level 320.
Actually, no, it's going at 1,000.
Speedbird 156 heavy. Milan radar identified.
Anyway, we're descending, that's what's important. You can actually make it descend faster if you much better for performance. You can see the little diamond is stuck up because we're below the optimum descent rate, but it's no big deal.
FedEx 764 heavy, contact Rome radar 131.1.
Let's go to Rome radar.
FedEx 764 heavy.
Let's bring our charts
Rome
here.
radar, FedEx 764 heavy, descending via right 40, flight level 350.
FedEx 764 heavy, Rome radar contact.
So we're gonna come up from the north and do this zigzag pattern all the way to Iksama and then approach 16 left. And we're hoping for the X-ray.
Charlie, descend to flight level 170.
Descend to flight level 170, go for 420 Charlie.
Wind has just increased 77 knots and crossing from the left. So actually the wind's worse as we descend. So there's the interception point for the profile. So let's go profile now. There it is. So there's IP's interception point for the optimum descent. So it's about to reach it, and then it will take control of variable pitch to carry on descending. And as we reach right B, which is the initial point for our SID, for our star, we'll start this corridor here in a zigzag pattern for flight separation. Winds are still not good, still pushing us back. Let's set our transponder for below. So TARA and below. There it is. So TCAS was misbehaving mid-flight. It was telling me about, warning me about bogus airplanes that weren't there. Not sure what happened there. I couldn't see the planes, and they appeared to be activating TCAS a bit too far. One of the traffic advisories actually told me to descend or climb. I don't remember, but it went away. So it was descent profile or climb profile. I don't remember what it was telling me. But then all of a sudden conflict resolved. So really weird. Maybe it's the way Beyond ATC injects traffic. Sometimes it may inject traffic on the vicinity, and that messes up with the airplane's own TCAS, not sure.
Rome radar, Austrian 57 Mike, good day, flight level 170.
Go for 420 Charlie.
Let's prepare our landing.
Descend to flight level 140, go for 420
Let's go for the approach. So 16 left.
Austrian 57 Mike, Rome radar identified.
This is it. This is ILS W, but I wanted the X-ray. So let's see if it's the X-ray. So decision height is 214.
Contact Bravo, arrivals 125.5 Bravo 420, challenge.
214. Barrow, correct. And now let's go for the TO APPR. So we got runway 16 left. We're going to set our flaps 35, and our VRAF will be 131 knots, and our VAP will be 136 knots. So not that fast today, which is good. So flaps 35, we're not going to land with full flaps. We can select that option here, but we don't need to. When the plane is light, we didn't do like a transatlantic flight. The plane doesn't have much fuel. It has a full cargo, but not that heavy. So we don't need to land with full flaps. That will reduce our speed quite a bit, but about 10 knots. So those extra 10 knots that I was talking about. But at the same time, approach speed of 136 knots seems pretty reasonable. It's funny because the runway elevation is only 14 feet, so it's pretty much at sea level, more or less. 14 feet above. It's not much. So coming up here to our ILS approach, let's interpret the charts a little bit, just important stuff. So this is our decision height, 214 MSL or 200 AGL. We are going to make our approach probably direct to Exama right here, and then down here. That's the transition I set on the FMC, but let's see, that's the one they'll give us, because they're still not getting us the clearance. This is going to be a standard 3-degree glide slope approach. We are going to have a Cat 1 approach, so this is the ILS X-ray. I hope it's the one they give us. And yeah, it looks good. 2,500 feet at about 7.8 nautical miles from touchdown, or to the ILS point. We're going to start our descent with a 33 degrees descent on a heading of 159 degrees, and we'll just interpret the outer marker and the middle marker. There's no inner marker, just outer and middle. And yeah, so these are the missed approach. We can read it, but unfortunately Beyond ATC will not recognize this. So if we do get a missed approach, we're going to continue to climb on the runway heading, which is 159er, to reach 7.6 knot DME from IFLL, which is this VOR here. No, it's not. What's this VOR? IFLL. So
Altitude.
our idea is to keep at 2,000 feet, so we're reaching the assigned altitude of 1,800 or flight level 180 at 2,000 feet. So we're going to continue runway heading at 2,000 feet until we reach 7.6 of IFLL. Oh, there it is. So it's the ILS itself. All right. Then turn right. So make a right-hand turn into heading 185 to join Romeo 159 OST to Upnez. So this is probably VOR is hidden somewhere in this vicinity here. And then hold. So we need to hold. So missed approach requires a minimum of 45% to 60 nautical miles. That's not percent. What is that? For ATC reasons, if unable to comply, advise ATC. 4.3 nautical miles, I suppose. 260 degrees. So if your plane is on 45%, 4.3% climb, so to 2,000 feet, so we need to climb at 4.3 degrees or something. So if your plane is unable to climb that fast, you need to advise ATC because there are mountains here. So you really need to go up to 1,000 feet. And there's probably mountains on this side too. So that's good to know. I really hope they give us
FedEx 764 Heavy, descend to flight level 170.
170.
Descend to flight level 170, FedEx 764 Heavy.
There it goes, it's descending 170.
Line S752 Whiskey, contact me on radar 124.925.
Contact me on radar 124.925 Line S752 Whiskey.
Sorry for my stuffy nose. Trying my best not to sneeze. Yeah, it's something I've been doing for the last 24 hours, quite intensely. But it's not pleasant for you guys listening. But it's not easy. So there's the old OMP VOR.
210 Juliet, contact Roma, arrivals 125.5.
Contact Roma, arrival 125.5, Quad 210 Juliet.
You can see the descent rate is a little slow. If you want to increase, which you should, because you don't want to stick around this altitude for too long. Just go manual.
Climb to flight level 320, hour 1475.
Coughing is the other regular thing I do. So we're going to get an altitude warning.
Run radar, Baltic 8 Hotel Quebec, flight level 310.
Baltic 8 Hotel Quebec, run radar, radar contact.
Altitude.
There it is. That's just telling you there's 1,000 feet to go to the assigned altitude.
Run radar, ISS-62 Lima Heavy, flight level 370.
ISS-62 Lima Heavy, run radar, radar contact.
So we're at the assigned altitude.
To flight level 140.
Descend to flight level 140, FedEx 764 Heavy.
Let's go profile now. There it goes. See how aggressive it is in profile
Run
mode.
radar, Swiss 69 Lulu, good day, 4,300 feet.
Doesn't need to be this aggressive, but it is what it is. So let's call the passengers back to their seats.
Continue climb to flight level 130, Swiss 69
No smoke on.
FedEx 764 Heavy, contact room arrivals 125.5.
Contact Roma arrivals 125.5 FedEx 764 Heavy. Roma arrivals, FedEx 764 Heavy, flight level 157 with the numbers.
FedEx 764 Heavy Roma arrivals, good day.
X-ray, nice. Via Exima.
Runway 16 left with the examiner transition.
Nice.
QNH 1001, expect the ILS X-ray runway 16
The
left
check
with the
weights
examiner
were
transition. FedEx 764
done
Heavy.
before. It's beneath this lever here, so no issue there. This doesn't clear after we clear on the left CDU for some reason. So let's just go back, confirm I got the correct approach. I think I do. Yeah, Exima right there. So yeah, nice, very nice. So we got the X-ray. That's the one we programmed earlier. Usually Beyond ATC will always pick the lowest letter. So if there's a Zulu,
FedEx 764
Yankee,
Heavy, descend to flight level 110.
it'll always pick
Descend to flight level 110, FedEx
the
764
Zulu
Heavy.
one. In this case, there was the Whiskey and the X-ray, and it picked the X-ray. So I was just hoping to keep up with what Beyond ATC would select, and we did good. So add drag. So let's deploy the speed brakes. It's right there. Needs to reduce thrust while descending. Again, the pitch authority for the autopilot is a bit too aggressive. Let's go back in. Speed brakes retracted. So we are obeying these constraints here. We need to reduce to 250 knots. 1,000 feet to go. There's our glide slope and localizer information. It's saying no lock and no GS because we are not in the interception force.
Descend to 4,000 feet, Beaufort 420 Charlie.
So these
Beaufort 420
corridors
Charlie,
allow us
clear
to
direct
enter
climb
like
crossing
these
climb at above 4,000 feet, clear
lanes
X-ray runway 16
for
left.
ATC to
Clear
distribute.
direct examiner, crossing climber at above 4,000 feet, clear Dialis, X-ray runway 16 left, Beaufort 420 Charlie.
Distribute traffic for the approach.
FedEx 764 Heavy, descend to flight level 090.
090.
Descend to flight level 090, FedEx 764 Heavy.
There it goes, descending. Sorry. We will make yet another turn to the right, and then one final curve to the left for the approach.
Altitude.
1,000 feet to go again. And as we enter this corridor, we will get... Oh, there's another airplane coming in. I hope it's not going to give us any trouble. Looks like it's going to join our corridor as well. So maybe we'll reduce speed.
Room arrivals. At Optic 9 Kilo Victor, flight level 161, via Bravo on board. At Optic 9 Kilo Victor, Roma arrivals. Good day. QNH 1001, expect DIL X-ray runway 16 left with the examiner transition.
So we're at full altitude. We're just reducing speed to allow it to fly ahead of us. Although that's the job for the ATC, but the Beyond ATC is not good in separating traffic, so it's actually not even working, I think. I believe that's what they were saying the other day. Alright, speed check, let's deploy. I think my chat just froze. No. There's just no one talking. Let's point this to 160.
FedEx 764 Heavy, descend to 6,000 feet, QNH 1001.
1001.
Descend to 6,000 feet, QNH 1001, FedEx 764 Heavy.
There we go. Come on, profile descent. It's not descending, so we'll go manual.
Aero Italia 514 Charlie, clear direct Suvak, cross Suvak at or above 4,000 feet, cleared ILS X-ray runway 16 left.
Clear direct Suvak, cross Suvak at or above 4,000 feet, cleared ILS X-ray runway 16 left, Aero Italia 514 Charlie.
Let's reduce our speed.
Beaufort 42 Sierra Charlie, contact Feeding Tower 127.625.
There we go.
Tower 127.625, Beaufort 42 Sierra Charlie. Have a good day.
So we will be below slant retraction speed, so we're not stressing the plane.
All aircraft be advised, information Charlie now current QNH 1001.
1001. We got Charlie. Alright, final turn. See, if I was to be below the assigned altitude, I could easily collide with these mountains. So there's our friendly plane turning in on his own flight path. So 6,000 is a transition. As we reach 6,000, we'll switch to local QNH, which is 1001. There's our left-hand turn, and we'll make another left-hand turn, and we'll be aimed to Rome Fiumicino Airport. So see how close we are to these mountains here. So always obey to ATC or charts or both. Now the plane also has a ground proximity warning system, GPWS, so also obey to that. If it tells you too low, then you should climb. It usually tells you terrain, pull up, and that's exactly what you should be doing. That plane is a little too high for the approach, that one right there. But he may descend anytime. So let's give it another notch of flaps. Flaps 10. Just about to turn for the final, well, not the final heading, there's still a small correction to the right, but it will point us directly to Rome, at least. There's a plane over there turning. And let's set our FMC speeds for now. Actually, no, it will accelerate too much. Let's go 140. Reduce our speed even further, almost close to the approach speed.
Air Italia 514 Charlie, contact Feeding Tower 127.625.
Contact tower 127.6250, Italia 514 Charlie. Bye-bye.
There's our turn. Let's take a look outside. Beautiful plane, beautiful scenery, beautiful day. What else do you want? The reason why I'm giving room to that other plane is that I just don't want to go around. That's pretty much the reason. Let me set my TCAS to normal. Otherwise I won't see it. There it is. Although this TCAS looks like needs some hand banging.
Stabilizer motion. Stabilizer motion.
Yeah, that plane looks a little too close for comfort.
Stabilizer motion.
Alright, let's get another notch of flaps. Flaps 20.
Parter 210 Juliet, clear direct examer, cross examer at or above 4,000 feet, cleared ILS X-ray runway 16 left.
Clear direct examer, cross examer at or above 4,000 feet, cleared ALS X-ray runway 16 left, Parter 210 Juliet.
So it's going away, so I think we're good. I think it's going way faster than we are. I just hope there's no plane behind us that could overtake us. This is the sole responsibility of the ATC, definitely not pilot's responsibility. So we are just, oh, forgot to set the local altimeter, so it's 1001. What am I doing? It's 214. It's the wrong knob. It's the one button above. So 1.
Runway arrivals, ISS 62 Lima Heavy, flight level 284, we have Charlie on board.
Emirates 1 Hotel Papa Super, cleared direct examer, cross examer at or above 4,000 feet, cleared ILS X-ray runway 16 left.
Clear direct examer, cross examer at or above 4,000 feet, cleared ILS X-ray runway 16 left Emirates, 1 Hotel Papa Super.
ISIS 62 Lima Heavy Roma arrivals, QNH 1001, expect the ILS X-ray runway 16 left for the examer transition.
QNH 1001, expect the ILS X-ray runway 16 left for the
So
examer
still
transition.
no,
ISIS 62 Lima Heavy.
no localizer or glide slope, but we already have the correct station tune in IFLL. So the runway is offset currently, so we need to make a right turn and then a left turn to be aligned with it. We're still not clear to go below 6,000, so that's why I was pulling the plane up, because for some reason Profile decided to go down to the next altitude on the flight plan, but we're not cleared for that yet. Alright, we got localizer information, 25 miles, and pretty much the range of most ILSs, at least in Flight Simulator 2024.
Descend to 4,000 feet.
4,000 feet.
Descend to 4,000 feet, FedEx 764 Heavy.
FedEx 764 Heavy, cleared direct examer, cross examer at or above 4,000 feet, cleared ILS X-ray runway 16 left.
Clear direct examer, cross examer at or above 4,000 feet, cleared ILS X-ray runway 16 left, FedEx 764 Heavy.
Alright, we are cleared to examer, so that means that we can engage our approach sequence. So for now we'll make this turn here, and then we'll turn on the auto flight, the approach land mode. For now we're just gonna get another notch of flaps. Well, not yet, because we need to gear down, so we'll just wait a few moments till we do that. And now we're going to engage the terrain on the co-pilot screen, so we don't get any nasty surprises. Although it's
Altitude.
we do have a good visual distance, but still. So we're gonna have a problem after landing because we won't have any APU. So I may need to connect ground power with the trucks while the engines are running, at least engine 2, Temu engine. Otherwise we'll have no power.
2 Lima Heavy, descend to flight level 160.
Descend to flight level 160, SF62 Lima Heavy.
Let's go for the right turn. We got glide slope information.
Below Victor, clear direct examer, cross examer at or above 4,000 feet. Cleared ILS, X-ray runway 16 left.
Clear direct examer, cross examer at or above 4,000 feet. Cleared ILS, X-ray runway 16 left, head out at 9 kilo Victor.
There's the other plane. We're giving it a lot of room, but I think it's going to be a go-around. I hope not. Alright, here we go. Approach mode. Let's go. 1 notch of flaps and gear down.
Landing gear.
There we go.
Landing
Gear down.
Landing gear.
Plata 210 Juliet, contact please.
It's alright, lady.
7.625, have a good day.
Landing gear.
Over to tower.
Gear down, 3 green.
65, Plata 210 Juliet.
Landing armed. Let's keep on descending to 2,500. And FMS speed. Flaps 35 set. We are on approach speed. We're still offset.
2,500.
2,500 set. Check.
Stabilizer motion.
Yeah, it's really disturbing, this buzzard. Hey, it does its job, it's calling your attention. But still. There we go. Turning in.
Emirates 1 Hotel.
We got
Super,
localizer
contact
intercept.
Freedom Tower 127
There it is,
decimal
localizer in
625.
white.
Contact tower 127.6.
Landing is armed, but not yet active. We need glide slope information for that. I'm gonna search for that other plane. Got no visual on it. Not yet. Maybe it's in the clouds. Not sure. Alright, that's not yet established, but wishing I was.
ISO 62 Lima Heavy, descend to flight level 150.
Descend to flight level 150, ISS 62 Lima Heavy.
So runway heading is 159er. There it is. We got localizer, we're still below the glide slope. That's the way you should do it. And we should reach past Oxeru at 2,500 and at 7.8. We should be starting our descent a little below 2,500. So right now we're 11. I still don't see. Oh, there's the other plane.
Heavy, descend to 6,000 feet, QNH 1001.
Descend to 6,000 feet, QNH 1001, ISS 62 Lima Heavy.
So let's see, at 7.8 we should be intercepting the glide slope. Landing is armed, but not yet triggered.
FedEx 764 Heavy, contact Field Tower 127.
Let's go to Fiume Tower.
Over to Tower 127.625, FedEx 764 Heavy, bye-bye.
We're awfully slow in this approach
Green Tower,
by
FedEx
design,
764
because I
Heavy,
want to make
ILS
that
X-ray
other
runway
plane
16
up ahead
left.
land and vacate before I get there.
FedEx 764 Heavy, Field Tower continue.
Wilco, FedEx 764 Heavy.
Turn on the track IR again. Oh, not looking at the ceiling. Alright. So that other...
21 Sierra Juliet, exit next available taxiway. Exit next available taxiway, plot 21 Sierra Juliet. All aircraft be advised, information Delta Nel current, QNH 1000.
Oh, so... Not again. It's this one. 1000. Alright, we are established, but we are already waiting for the landing clearance. So there's another plane just vacated the runway, and there's another one landing just now. You can see there's an A340 probably.
Emirates 1 Hotel Papa Super, go around. Fly runway center line, maintain 2,500 feet. On the go, fly runway center line, maintain 2,500 feet. Emirates 1 Hotel Papa Super.
So that one went around.
Emirates 1 Hotel Papa Super, contact Roma arrivals 125.5. Contact Roma arrivals 125.5, Emirates 1 Hotel Papa Super. Talk to you in a minute.
I don't see the other plane though.
FedEx 764 Heavy, wind 160, and a runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Clear to
Runway
land.
16 left, cleared to land, FedEx 764 Heavy.
Alright, we got dual land. Let me get my feet on the pedals here. Give me a moment. Oh, sorry about that.
Baltic 9 Kilo Victor, Field Tower continue.
Roger, Baltic 9 Kilo Victor.
Now properly set. And feet on the pedals and autopilot off.
Autopilot 1000.
1000 check. Little high to the little to the right on the glide path. To the right. Looking good. Little high.
500.
500 check.
$400.
400 check. Whoa. Little low.
Glide slope.
Got it. Got
Glide
it.
slope.
Approaching
Glide slope.
minimum.
Glide slope.
All right. Going there.
Minimum. Minimum.
Continue.
200. $100.
Glide
50,
slope.
40.
Glide
30,
slope.
20.
Glide slope.
10.
Touchdown. forgetting about this. And this. Oh, sorry. Auto throttle is armed.
FedEx 764 Heavy, exit next available taxiway.
It's the next available taxiway, FedEx 764 Heavy.
It's this one right here. We don't have APU, so we cannot start it. So, no APU for some reason. Still trying to figure that one out. Runway vacated. Oh, we didn't even turn on the lights, but we'll turn it for taxi.
About at 9 Kilo Victor, wind 160 at 9 runway 16 left.
I need to bring the checklists.
Runway 16 left cleared to land. About at 9 Kilo Victor.
FedEx 764 Heavy, contact ground 121.675.
Ground 121.675, FedEx 764 Heavy.
Alright, let's...
FedEx 764 Heavy, request taxi to company cargo ramp.
FedEx 764 Heavy, cargo 101 taxi by Delta Hotel, Delta, uniform.
Alright, let's
Cargo
go through
101 by
Delta.
Delta Hotel, Delta, uniform, FedEx 764 Heavy.
Alright, so it's all the way forward. Let's go. So we just follow this taxiway all the way down. It's really straightforward. There we go. Delta 6. So there was Delta Hotel, this is Delta, and then there will be a uniform, this is the one we'll follow. Pretty easy taxi to cargo 101, but when there's too many taxiways, it gets a little harder to find. But if it's just this simple, you just look at the little designation on the ground. So this is Delta. Keep on going until we find uniform, which should be these 3 remote gates. So this is Charlie and Mike, so carry on.
Charlie, Mike, Bravo, November Golf, Hotel, about at 9 Kilo Victor.
Not all airports have cargo zones, but this one does, so it's good. Always end up in the similar place. So this is the cargo terminal over there, and we just need to line up with 101. Not too fast. This plane accelerates like crazy, even on idle. So this is Delta 1, and uniform should be this one right here. So this little apron here for cargo operations. And I believe 101 is the first one on the left. Yep, that's about it. That's correct. Right. There we go. It's that one over there. So let's make sure GSX knows I'm coming. Just gonna hold here. So car 101. No fun. And there it is. All right, there we go. Let's do this from the outside for a change. This is such a big plane. It's cool to see it done on the outside view. It's pretty cool turning radius this plane has. Do you see how the wheel turns almost sideways? It's really cool. It's really made to operate in small airports. Well, small-ish, because this is still a big plane. Alright. Right, to the right. Little slow down. To the right. Right. There you go. So now we get the parking brake on. And we're gonna shut down just 1 and 2. Let's leave the third on, because now we need to connect the GPU, the wheel chocks, external power on, and now we can turn off the third one and request deboarding. Alright, so welcome to Rome. This wasn't the most uneventful flight ever, because we don't have APU, as I said. There's some issue with the APU on this plane. Not entirely sure what happened.
1745, gate 405 request
But
pushback.
here we are in Rome Fiumicino Airport. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I loved the flight. The landing was okay, and there was no really. Well, look at that. Looks all the way up. There was no issue upon landing, but can we move that trimmer back up? But the initial flight wasn't that good because of the issues with no GPU. I'm almost sure this is connected, so this drive on disconnected. It's probably feeding the APU system. However, this should be here because we definitely made a different flight. Number 1, it was a passenger MD-11 last time, and number 2, I honestly believe that these are not connected. I have a suspicion, but it's not that high of a suspicion. So there are issues with the MD-11, and I'm gonna send this to the team. I already did, actually. During the flight, I was just sending them what I was finding, and I hope that they can find and fix whatever it was that caused this, and a way to reset it when it does happen. Other than that, right up my alley flight with a beautiful plane, with a beautiful design, incredibly in-depth systems, great performance overall, both airplane performance, airplane its own performance, but also system performance. It's really important. So yeah, I'm repeating myself, but if you guys like long haul flights, if you guys like cargo flights like this one, and if you're looking for a very well developed and in-depth airplane. This is the one again. A few bugs, but one plane is released today without any bugs. None. All of them had their issues, but this one, with all the issues, is still a great plane. And let me just make this a little more quiet. So guys, again, if you're looking for a great plane to fly, this is it. I think TFDi did a great job. They're coming up with a few updates coming in the next few days. They already told me there's a huge update coming. Not sure what comes, but it is coming. And so again, if you guys enjoy what you just watched, just leave a like, subscribe, share with your friends if you feel like they will like it. And of course, if you're up to it, you can also donate to the channel. It really helps me a lot, especially concerning the expenditures of new add-ons, new sceneries, so that all the money that I get donated will be reinvested on the simulation. So guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time on the Glide Slope Shot.
I love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drums begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the